everybody, today I'm going to be talking about the Nintendo 64. Now if you're new here, consider that sub and ring the bell. So this is a little bit of a throwback, the old setup, but I actually have a new CRT that I think I mentioned in a couple other videos. But I wanted to talk about the Nintendo 64 today because I haven't done a console review like this in a long time. I think the last one I did was almost a year ago. So I wanted to talk about the Nintendo 64 today because I think it's a pretty cool system. So yeah, let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about is kind of the origins of this one that I have in particular. So back in like a year ago, I was really not considering collecting for the Nintendo 64 for the longest time because honestly, like, it's so expensive. Like, I think a lot of people will agree that Nintendo, especially Nintendo game collecting, is expensive. So, like, I wanted to have a Nintendo 64, but I didn't want to spend over $100 for one. But luckily, I got a pretty good find because this is actually from a garage sale that I actually found for $5. And the reason why it was $5 is because it wasn't working. So I don't know what was going on, but they just the people I talked to said that it wouldn't show any picture or any games. So I bought this for $5, and I actually managed to fix it, and it actually works now because the reason why it was not working is because there was so much like dirt in the cartridge slot right there. So I cleaned everything except like not going inside of the console because I don't know how to do that yet. But yeah, so I got this for a way better price than what people are asking for it. So yeah, so this is just a standard gray model. Now I know that there are versions like the Fantastic models to where they have different colors, but those are like extremely expensive. So yeah, so Nintendo 64 itself, I like this design. I think it's pretty cool. So there's a jumper pack, which a lot of the reason why a lot of these Nintendo 64s are on eBay for like sale that aren't working is because they don't have a jumper pack. So like, I guess people don't realize. But yeah, so there's a power switch, and these aren't sticky anyway also. So, and there's a reset button. And it was kind of weird because like, back in like the 90s, like a lot of people were thinking that the new Nintendo system after the Super Nintendo was gonna get like disc compatibility and not use cartridges anymore. When it was announced that they were gonna do cartridges, I think some people were kind of disappointed. So yeah, this does use cartridges, but I actually really do like cartridges, even though you have to like blow in the cartridge for it to work sometimes. I actually wasn't considering collecting for the Nintendo 64, like I said earlier, because it's just so expensive. But I managed to find a couple of good deals that I wanted to show you guys. The first one is, this is actually the first Nintendo 64 game I've bought so far. And it's Rush, kind of a Midway game, which I haven't seen that logo in a long time. Now this label is very beaten up. I might get a new label. Like, this was only like $12 at my local game store. But like, this is actually a pretty good game because it has like, I mean, I'm kind of a sucker for like the like racing games and stuff. So I have one of those. And these are the two that I got recently. So this one is Zelda the Ocarina of Time. So this one, I think it might be a reproduction, but it's a pretty good, dang good reproduction, if that's what it is. Because like, it's like the labels are all right. I don't know if it is or not. If anyone can tell me if this is a reproduction, let me know. I mean, it looks pretty good. And I actually found this at a game store, or actually a pawn shop, for $25, which it usually sells for like $50, so maybe that's why. But it worked fine. Like, it actually is kind of funny because when I got this, there was already a bunch of save files on it, so I could just start from wherever I wanted in the game. Now, I'm not that big of a Zelda fan. I'm way more of a fan of Mario, but I just wanted to have this, even if it might be reproduction, but I just wanted to have this game. Another one I have, and this is the only other game I have, is Super Mario 64. So I got this from eBay for around $20, and I believe this is a legit copy. So this does look, I don't know, it's hard to tell. Oh, the labels are a little bit different. So that might be a reproduction card, but that's okay. But yeah, so yeah, so this is a Super Mario 64. I love this game. This game has it still holds up, man. Like, I do want to say an unpopular opinion and kind of a hot take, I think that most of the Nintendo 64 games have not aged very well. Like, because it was like the early stage of like 3D gaming, like a lot of the games, like I almost want to say like GoldenEye hasn't really aged that well. So, like, I mean, that might be kind of a hot take, but like a lot of the games haven't really aged that well. But I think Super Mario 64 still holds up. So, this actually I bought from eBay, and I think this is a real copy. But like, it's kind of crazy because I also loaded this in, and there were already save files on it. So I really like this game. I really do like it. The ones I want to pick up are Mario Kart 64, which that one goes for like $60 or $70. And I don't know if I want to pay for that. So, and another one I might want to get is Super Smash Brothers Melee. Not Melee. Oh my god, Melee. That's the GameCube. Oh my god. Yeah, so Super Smash Brothers 64. I don't think I'm gonna be like mass collecting for Nintendo 64 like I am for the original Xbox, because the original Xbox is actually the most amount of games I have for a system, and I love that system. So another thing I want to talk about is this. So a lot of people despise this controller. So this is actually an aftermarket one. This isn't an official one, but I don't like when I first saw the design of the Nintendo 64 controller, I was like, that is absolutely terrible. Like, and I didn't even own a Nintendo 64 before, so I don't absolutely hate it. It's not like Atari 2600 controller bad. Like, and I mentioned in the Atari 2600 video that like I hate the controller because it's so stiff. A lot of people say that like it's just the shape of it is awful because like it's like three kind of prongs. I don't absolutely hate it, and I think because I do have bigger hands, it's kind of easier to like hold it like this to where like the joystick is reachable. But this is kind of an aftermarket controller, which I do like this purple color though. I really do like it. Like, I'm not crazy about a Nintendo 64 controller, but I don't absolutely hate it. Like, I don't know, it's just kind of iffy, but like it actually feels pretty good. I don't know which brand this is, but Technogame made this controller, and I got like an aftermarket controller. So another thing that's really cool for Nintendo 64 is that it has 4 controller ports, which with the Super Nintendo it only had 2. So the fact that you could play with 4 people was actually kind of crazy. Nintendo 64, I think it holds up, like the outside of the actual design. It's just that I think some of the games are a little dated, and like that I would consider that if you are gonna buy a Nintendo 64, that some of the games might not look as great as they used to. But the thing is that which with every retro gaming in general is, you see my CRT over there. Get a CRT if you can. And for retro gaming, I would recommend anyone who can to get a CRT as soon as possible, because like when you try to put a system like this on a widescreen, it looks awful. So like I recommend getting a CRT with those big pound TVs, and I would try to get ones that have a lot of inputs in them. So if you want to see Nintendo 64 looking its best, get a CRT. Like you won't regret it, because it's just like it's so much better looking, and pretty much all retro games in general look better on a CRT. So yeah, so this is Nintendo 64. I actually don't have a cover for the jumper pack. I might try to get one maybe. But yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. This is my first console review in a while. And I'm sorry I took a break for a little bit because I had to go through some stuff. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.